My old camper van is still not ready, but I needed a quick solution because I was heading down Scotland's longest dead-end road to Kinloch Hourn to meet Lee for a big hike. That is when I decided to turn my SUV into a makeshift camper, costing me a total of £46. Good morning, campers. It is 6:30 and you may have guessed I am sleeping in my car. I turned into a makeshift camper van yesterday, sort of short notice. I'm down the Kinloch Hourn road, which I believe is the longest dead-end road in Scotland, if not Britain in fact. Luna, calm down. And I've met up with my friend Lee for a big hike later on, so I'll get up and I'll show you what I've done with the car later on as well. Right, Loons, shush. Rightio folks, finally, I've not set foot in a hill since November last year, with Kevin doing Ben Moore and Mill. So today I'm with Lee and Luna and we're heading up our first Gorbit down the Kinloch Hourn road. And that last section there, that was interesting, really steep, and you wouldn't want to meet a camper van coming in the opposite direction. Right, let's do it. Happy days. Bit of squelch underfoot, to be expected. It's been a lot of rain, so wet. You got the route on your phone, Lee?
I do, yeah.
Excellent, so have I. Typical, we took the waterproofs off and it started raining again, but I think it's going to be one of these days where it's just going to come on and off all day, but it is meant to clear by roughly midday. And we've got another Corbett to do back down at Kinloch Hourn, so hopefully we'll get this 90% chance of cloud-free tops. We shall see. I think Kev took one look at the forecast and thought he'd missed this one out. Aye, he's getting soft in his old age. And there's our first wee glimpse of Loch Coich. You can just see there, that must be the Monroe Gaelic. And then if I pan to the left towards Lee, you can see there's been a fresh dust in the snow. That one at the back, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but that'll be the South Glenshiel 7 Monroes. And there's wee Luna. Hey pal, you alright? What is it? And I left her treats in the car. Hey, I left your treats in the car.
And the lead.
And the lead, so you better not run away. So that's us pretty much picked up the ridge. You can probably see here in front of me, got a line of fence posts, and that's going to take us up onto the main ridge and onto the summit. We're over halfway. It's starting to clear up, so fingers crossed it's looking good. Yes, superbos. So yeah, our summit is just up over that craggy looking one there. This is the 19th of April 2026 in winter. It's still got a bit of a grip yet. Not uncommon, but I think we're just used to these mild winters. Anyway, it looks like our route is pretty much snow free because I did leave the ironmongery back in the house. Luna! Good girl! Lee and I were just gabbing away there. Coming up over the ridge here, we could just see a pile of stones. We reckon that there is the summit cairn, so let's go. And somebody left a camera there for us.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is amazing, eh? Let's walk into it.
BBC.
Boom. High five.
Nice one. What
Excellent.
about one of the day?
Yes, what's the time?
Just after 10. That's
Just
pretty
after.
good.
That is good going. What's that about? Just over 2 hours?
Yeah.
Just over 2 hours, folks, that's not bad. Car to summit. There seems to be a couple of little higher points on this knobbly ridge, so I might just go around and touch some random boulders just to make sure I've got the true summit. I know, but I wouldn't want to have to come back.
You actually do a wee bit higher. But
That looks higher, eh? But
does,
it's
yeah.
probably the mist just playing tricks on us.
I think so.
Aye. I mean, that's to the cairn, and I'll check the map. Maybe just touch that one there, eh, and then we'll head back.
It looks it, but apparently it's not.
Aye. Do you want to do that one?
Yeah, go on.
We are typical baggers. We're going to go over and do this little minor top here. I'm sure that is the summit. I don't want a wido in the comments. Well, hold on just now, Mr. Wallace. That's not the true summit. I think you'll find you'll have to go back. This is where we'll get up here and we'll look across there and that'll look higher. It's definitely the mist always plays tricks. And it does look higher, that is bonkers.
Oh, wow.
That's much higher.
Yeah, much higher.
There's no point doing that.
No. Oh, look at that.
I know.
Did see that in the description, though.
Aye,
It is lower.
it is lower. I'm not going over there.
Yeah.
This is the official top, well, that one over there. Hey Loons, another Corbett for the dog. Right, I think we'll have something to eat, get out of this wind, and then we'll crack on because we've still got another Corbett to do down at Kinloch Hourn.
Oh, anyway.
Haven't been doing any recording, folks, because we've had hailstones, we've had snow, we've had rain. It just hasn't been very nice, but it's cleared up a little bit. So fingers crossed, it might just clear up for the second Corbett we're going to do this afternoon. But what I'll do is I'll swivel the camera and I'll show you. You can just see the way the light is catching all the wet rock. You've got the road there winding its way through, and there's Loch Coich at the back there. And blue sky. Luna, you ready? Let's go. Right, that's us back on the road. Car's just over there. We've not put our waterproof trousers on, so we're soaked and I had a bad slip. Soaked down the right hand side, so swivering about bumping the last one, we don't know yet. What we'll do is we'll have some lunch, try and dry up, and then we'll take it from there. Alright folks, it's Robin from the future here, and I was meant to film this yesterday after the hike, but we were absolutely shattered and it was pouring the rain, so I'm back home now, day after, and I thought I would just show you how I turned my car into a makeshift camper. So this is a Honda CRV 3rd generation 2012 model. So what we'll do now is I'll show you inside what I've done. So it was actually the YouTube channel Kent Survival that gave me this idea. He's got the same car and he removed the back seats. So that's the first thing I've done, but I've kept in one seat for passengers in case Kevin was going or something like that. And it was quite easy, to be honest. It was just 4 bolts, 12mm, 2 here and 2 here. And the hardest bit was getting the seats out because it was heavy and just about done my back in. But then this has created this nice level platform, and by removing the back seat it also buys you more headroom as well. So I bought this cheap box from Home Bargains. That was £4. That's good for just storing some food in there, and I'll explain that in more detail in a minute. I've also bought these little cheap headrest hooks that just clip on there, and that just buys you some more space for storing things. So I'll hang my rucksack, that's Luna's bag, and then this also gives you the passenger seat to store stuff. So I've got like a food bag here, my wee cool bag. And then to the left of me here, I have got the Jackery for charging up stuff, and then I had all my sleep stuff in here, some water and just other bits and bobs. And this has now created the space for the bed to go in. So this was really short notice stuff, so I had to nip up to Argos a few hours before heading off and this is a tri-folding gymnasium mat that was £42. They're cheaper on Amazon, but because it was so short notice, I didn't have that luxury. So straight up to Argos, picked this up. Now the good thing about the tri-folding gym mat is it can sit all folded up in the boot when you're not using it, and then once you're ready, you fold it out. What we'll do now is unfold the mat and create the bed. Easy as that. It's just a little bit too long, so what I need to do is just lift up this back one so that fits in the boot like so. There we go, so that is the bed in place. So that is the setup complete. What I've done is I put my flex tail mat just for some extra comfort. You could probably get away with the gym mat, but I've used this to sort of iron out the kinks underneath in the boot because it's not totally level. But I've also got this Nemo pillow, which is really comfortable. It's got a layer of foam here and it blows up, and that's almost as good as the one in the house. And you could get away with taking that wild camping as well. It's just a little bit bulky, but it's not too heavy. Then obviously I've got my quilt. Underneath the flex tail mattress, I've just got a little bit of non-slip mat there as well, just to help that from slipping about. So what I'll do now is I'll just get in and close the boot. With it being an SUV car, there's actually loads of headroom in here, which is really good. And that's me fully lying down. The driver's seat is forward, so there's plenty of space for my feet. And that's me, ready for a night. So yeah, admittedly, you know, it's not perfect, but for quick getaways, impromptu nights away, or if you need to get the drive out of the way first for a big hike in the morning, it's perfect for that. Just a quick one night escape here and there. This car's got the tinted windows as well, which really helps, just for that little bit extra privacy. I've also fitted the vape vents, you know, the wind deflectors, and that means you can just open the windows ajar at night, lets out the condensation. So in the morning, the windows were slightly steamed up, but it wasn't that bad at all, and that was with me and the dog sleeping in the car. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this. This will improvise just now until I'll hopefully get that camper van back on the road anytime soon. So yeah, back to the hiking video. I am shooken. Alrighty folks, it's round two. We're going after the second corbett, which I think is it a Bheinn Bheinn or something like that?
Something like that.
And it's basically just off the Cape Raft Trail. And you'll remember this wee place that me and Ian hired out back in the day. God, that was 5 years ago now, the Cape Raft Trail. But see if you remember this little house. Can't remember how much it cost us, but it was worth it. Just to have that luxury after 4 or 5 nights in the wild. Yeah, so we hired out the old cottage here. Probably a bit extravagant to be honest, but you got to treat yourself if you can, eh? Oh yes, I remember this section well. Woo! Roasting. Lee reckons these are the eucalyptus trees. That is tall, by the way.
Massive.
Does look a bit different. Certainly not a Scots pine. I wouldn't say I was a tree expert, by the way. I'd be barking up the wrong tree. But somebody has been chopping back this invasive hedge. What's it called again? I always pronounce it wrong. Rhododendron.
Rhododendron.
Rhododendron, thank you. Yes, this is all over the Highlands, running rife. It just it grows everywhere. It's really adapted to the Scottish climate, and then it just starves out anything below the canopy, so nothing else can grow. It'll starve out other trees as well, just over competing. And it's just everywhere in the Highlands. There it is again. And I think it'll take a lot of work to eradicate it. Weirdly, you can still buy this stuff in garden centres. I don't know if it's a different variation, I'm not a plant expert. Well, look at that vista out in front of us there, straight down Loch Hourn. Fantastic, got Larvin The back there you can see snow, a little bit cloud capped, but aye, that's stunning. Meanwhile, onwards and upwards. Hardly done any filming. It's just been a slog really. That stalker's path took us up to about 600 metres. Now we're just freestyling it up the ridge behind me there. But aye, we've just been chatting away about Scottish football and chewing the fat, as I say. But I'll keep you posted because we're close to this ridge, just up there. We're over 600 metres now. But aye, it's just nice to take a breather and look at the views behind us. Clouds is rolling in and out. But aye, it's not too bad, can't complain.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Luna has took a right liking
What is it with my pole?
to Lee's poles.
What is it?
I don't know if he's got big sweaty hands and she's licking off the salt.
I thought it was the colour, but no, it's
I
not.
don't know,
It's
she's
actually the handle.
really interested in them. She loves them. Alright troops, just a quick update on the route. I'll swivel the camera around. This here's a minor top, and then over there, that is the true summit. So we've not got too far to go, just a nice ridge saddle in the middle here. So we'll get along here, get up to that summit, and hopefully the cloud clears for us, because it's been in and out. Touch wood, I'm going to jinx myself. We've not been soaked since this morning, coming off that last Corbett. So aye, let's go, let's do this. You ready, loons? Ready, Lee?
Yep.
Let's go. The wind really started to pick up here and it was biting, so the waterproofs were back on. It was also really rocky and steep, so I had to keep a good eye on Luna. So what I'll do is let the music take you to the summit. Good girl, let's go. Good girl. Luna! Oh, yes. High five! Superbos, folks. We've made it. That was tough. That was really tough going. Anyway, let's give Luna some treats. What have we got, Luna? We've got some Denzel's Letters peanut butter and banana dog treats. Lovely jubbly. Luna, you want some Cheetos? You want some Cheetos? She wants some Cheetos. Eh? Say hi to the camera. You want some Cheetos? Let's go. Stop teasing me. Right, gentle. Good girl. Thanks for the slavers there. Gentle. Oh, you dropped that one. Go get it. Where did they go? Did you get it? Yay. Sit nice. Catch. Yay, good catch. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Well folks, that is me officially, well once I get down into single figures for the Corbetts, 9 to go. That feels good, something quite psychological, getting into the single figures. So 9 left, I've got 3 over in Noida, that's a big toughie that one. I'll probably try and do them in a big long weekend. And then I've got 5 up the far north of Scotland. And that leaves me my final one, which is Bray Beg, one of the two. It's going to be my final one. That's up near Inchnadanf, so aye, fingers crossed we get them done this year. It's just this Noida one that's giving me headaches, how I'm going to do that. But I've had a few offers, people want to come along for the big Noida trip, so I'll have plenty of company. What are you doing, dog? Right, I'm going to have a bite to eat and then we're going to get off this mountain because we have to go back up that ridge, which was a wee bit tricky with the dog because she was a couple of points, she was going to jump down some high points. So I had to keep an eye on her. Hey, we had to keep an eye on you. Get away from the edge, over here. Over here. She's probably a bit cold. Right, let's get something to eat. Whew. Right, we're off that ridge. I was a little bit apprehensive about the dog. There's a couple of points where to lift her down and just be careful she never made any mad leaps. On the way up, she bossed it, so she was brilliant. But I'll turn the camera around, you'll see the ridge. It looks not too dissimilar to the Forking Ridge. This bit here, I'll get my phone out and get footage. I don't think this will do justice, but that looks like the Forking Ridge. It's not as narrow and it's not as scrambly. There was a couple of wee points needed some thought. What we'll do now is we'll just make our way down this knobbly ridge and we'll pick up a different stalker's path, and it creates a circuit, and then that joins up with where we left off from the pylon track, and then from there it's just back to the car down at Kinloch Hourn. So aye, I'll bring you back further down. I tell you what folks, this might sound daft, but I've never been so pleased to see a pylon. And the reason being is it now marks the start of the track, which takes us all the way back down to Kinloch Hourn and back to the cars. So this seems like a good point to wrap up the video. If you've watched this far, thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.